What is addiction? What does it mean to be addicted? Nowadays, addiction has significantly developed around the world. In the past, people used to say someone is addicted to opium or alcohol, and addiction revolved around those things. But today, all of those still exist, and hundreds of new addictions have also been added. Addiction to junk food, addiction to soda, addiction to mobile phones, addiction to video games, and addiction to masturbation and porn, which is a relatively new form of addiction, and many people are struggling with it. Nowadays, one of the most widespread addictions is this dependence on mobile phones and computers. When we open our eyes in the morning, we have to put the phone in front of our face and check the apps, which are themselves a type of drug. Apps like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and even YouTube. Social media addiction is such that you need it while eating dinner or lunch. You need it while sleeping. You try to have it with you while driving. It's with you in the bathroom. And some people make their phones waterproof to use them in the shower as well. Addiction is bad, you see. It's not much different from those so-called severe addictions. You might think that just looking at a phone or watching YouTube can't be such a severe addiction and can be easily quit, but it's not easy at all. This very addiction can pave the way for other addictions. Before we get into the details, it's better to understand how addiction works. We need to know that addiction begins with dopamine, which you're likely familiar with. Dopamine is released in the brain when you do something pleasurable. Now, this pleasurable act can be eating delicious food, winning a video game, drinking alcohol, using drugs, or engaging in masturbation and sex. When you enjoy these activities, dopamine is released. These easy and fake dopamine hits are the killers of human life. They give you temporary pleasure, and this pleasure is recorded in your brain, which is why every time you encounter these things, you want to do them. And this is where addiction forms. Dopamine, like anything else in the world, when it peaks, eventually crashes down. You've probably heard the saying, "What goes up must come down." But dopamine isn't like a fountain that spills back down to the ground. When it crashes, it doesn't just stop at the ground, it goes below it. If you look at the chart of dopamine highs and lows, you'll see that dopamine rises, crashes, and goes below zero. This means you're no longer the same as you were before. Now you have to find a way to bring that dopamine level up, just to feel normal again. When dopamine soars into the air, it's pleasurable. But when it crashes and falls below zero, you start feeling tired, bored, unable to focus, and even lose your motivation. These are feelings we can endure. But the brain hates the state we're in right now and kind of says, "Repeat that quick dopamine hit you got before. I want to get back up." Now, this addiction can be anything, from junk food, cigarettes, drugs, to masturbation. You should also know that the more pleasure you experience, the higher dopamine rises, and when it crashes, the lower it falls below zero. That's why heavy drugs have such intense addictions. And quitting them requires much harder work. Don't think addictions differ from each other. For example, heavy drugs are the hardest of all. No, they're all addictions. But heavy drugs harm the body much more than porn addiction. The important thing is to understand that it's not just substance addiction that ruins lives. Many times, even simple addictions have destroyed a person's life. Said to look for dopamine that isn't easy to obtain. And its pleasure doesn't quickly peak and crash, going below zero. For instance, compare reading a book to playing a video game. Video games spike dopamine levels drastically, but reading a book is like a calm sea. Dopamine rises and falls gently, providing a mild pleasure that doesn't deceive the brain. Now we've become familiar with dopamine and how addiction forms. But how do we quit it? It's not as easy as telling a smoker to stop smoking from tomorrow, or any other addict for that matter. This habit has become a part of the person's life, and their brain won't accept quitting it. It's constantly providing dopamine, and the brain won't agree to cut it off. The first step to quitting is for a person to admit they are addicted. This is the first step, because if a person admits they have a problem with addiction, that alone is 15% of the work. It means you're acknowledging that this habit is harming your life. Sometimes there are addictions like being addicted to tea or coffee. Those aren't too harmful. But there are times when we're addicted to something that only provides dopamine and severely affects our lives. This addiction must be quit because it's destroying us. Once we've accepted that we're addicted, we can plan to quit. One of the easiest methods is to replace the addiction with another addiction. But not an addiction that gives you quick and easy dopamine, one that requires effort for its dopamine. The best example is exercising. This video primarily focuses on those who are addicted to porn and masturbation. Those who have succeeded in overcoming this addiction are people who attacked it with exercise. Exercise can provide your body with dopamine, and, unlike addiction, which is only destructive, is beneficial. In short, to quit your addiction, you must change the source of your dopamine. The speed of this process is up to you. You can quickly replace negative addiction with positive addiction, or you can gradually replace it. You might say, where can I exercise? Which gym should I go to? How much is the membership fee? Forget it. Today, even an addiction that is mostly useful, like YouTube, teaches you all kinds of exercises. You can learn yoga, do simple but effective exercises at home, or, if you prefer, you can simply run, walk, ride a bike, do a few pull-ups, etc. Sometimes there are severe addictions. What should we do about them? We can't replace them with exercise that easily. Quitting severe addictions depends greatly on what the person is addicted to. Another thing that can really help is having various hobbies. Exercise itself is a type of hobby. For example, if you try to replace it with a hobby you truly enjoy, it can help a lot, even with severe addictions. Keep in mind that we're not talking about quitting addiction through medication. For instance, someone addicted to heavy drugs must also see a doctor then they can start replacing it with these methods. But someone addicted to porn or masturbation can treat themselves. However, don't forget that to succeed in all these matters, discipline is the key. Because even after quitting and becoming athletic, it's easy to return to the addiction. In this part, discipline can help us, and we must confidently tell our brain no and immediately distract ourselves. During the quitting process, try to surround yourself with people who have nothing to do with your addiction. Spend time with positive people, as this can help significantly. Now let's say someone quits, but then suddenly relapses. If you ever do such a thing, immediately forgive yourself and get back on track. Because the more you blame yourself, the more negative effects it will have. And that feeling of despair will settle in your mind and pull you back into the addiction. For instance, you were addicted to alcohol. Quit for 2 weeks and completely stayed away. If one day you find yourself somewhere and drink a beer, don't think it's all over. Don't blame yourself at all and continue moving forward. Discipline should not be forgotten. You must know that quitting any addiction is like a road full of potholes, and you must patiently cross it. When you truly want to, you'll definitely reach the end of the road.